Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another Not Funny Guys Presents One Horrible Weekend. Today, Eric and I are going to rank the Halloween Horror Nights 2025 haunted houses in the order we are excited for in the moment. We will do another ranking after we have done the houses. So, Eric, why don't you go first? Give me your number 10 Horror Nights haunted house.
Number 10 is one of their originals.
Yep.
That's going to be Hacker in Chains slash Demon Bounty Hunters. I am a little curious about the Demon Bounty Hunting side, but the rest just sounds very standard on fair for me, which is why it's 10.
Okay. All right. This is actually spawning off of a house from last year, oddly
Oh,
enough. So,
really? Was it a
uh,
Demon
I
Bounty
have
Hunter's house or something?
no idea whatsoever. I just know it's spawning off. All right,
Fair enough,
my
fair enough.
number 10 is Dolls Let's Play Dead. Why? Because I hate dolls. They
That's fair.
scare me, they terrify me, particularly if they are the classic like porcelain dolls. Dear God, if
Which
that's
you
the
know they will
case,
be. You know they will be.
if that's the case, I may not make it through the house. I'm going to
Yeah,
be
you
very on.
will.
I once walked into a friend's house, and I had to go into his sister's room to grab something for him. And in her room, lined up on the walls, was nothing but porcelain dolls, and they were all different types. They had the Harlequin ones, and they had regular ones. And I walked into the room, saw it, and turned around and walked out. Like
So
that
I'm
is
not getting this
how
shit
much
for you.
I do not like
I'm not
those
getting this stuff
dolls.
for you.
Right.
Gonna have to
So
bleep that.
if if that's the case with this, I don't know if I can make it through this house. But most likely I won't know until we get into it, and then I'm screwed. All right, Eric, number nine. What's your number nine?
So number 9 for me is Dolls Let's Play Dead because
Oh,
I
okay.
I'm pretty much in the same vein as you. For
Yeah,
me, if the Hacker and Chains didn't sound so generic, right,
yeah.
in terms of its kind of scare factor and what it's going to be in that way, and kind of the standard fare of a haunted house,
Uh-huh.
it may have pushed out because I also hate dolls. I think hating dolls is a pretty standard thing unless you're just a real horror fan.
Agreed.
But yeah, Dolls Let's Play Dead. I don't want to see
Yeah.
that.
All right, my number nine is Grave of Flesh, and it's mostly because I just don't know what this is. They haven't really told us a
Hmm.
ton. If it's
I
just
think
if it's zombies,
yeah,
I'm
that's what I'm thinking.
probably gonna be cool. But if it's just a weird like graveyard, I'm gonna be like, why are we doing this? Like, I just don't know. We don't have enough information. I need to know more. Tell me
TBD,
more.
folks. TBD.
TBD. Eric, what is your number eight?
Number 8 for me is one of the original IPs. We're getting into those, I guess, which
Not
is the
original IPs. It's
or
just a
the
rip.
IP houses, not original. I guess the original was the Dolls and Hacker.
Yep.
The Terrifier. That's the one. Based on all the warnings you've given me about Terrifier, that's the one I'm least looking forward to of the IP.
Okay, all right. My number eight is Hacker and Chains Demon Bounty Hunters because I don't know anything about it. It sounds cool. It does legit sound cool.
Mhm.
I don't know. I do not know enough information about this to make an adequate guess of what I'm going to expect. There we
Yeah.
go. Eric, what's your number six? Oh,
Number 7
sorry.
now.
You're number seven. Number seven.
Number 7 is Grave of Flesh for me. That's where that one falls for me. Where I'm a little bit more interested, especially the grave side of the flesh. I know that like that's probably means um it's probably linked to the idea that zombies and the undead in that way. But I am kind of curious to see how much of it feels like we're in a graveyard, how much of it feels like we're being buried alive, perhaps at chances,
Mhm.
or things like that. So I feel like there's actually some playroom in this that kind of intrigues me just enough to put it up there.
All right. All right. My number seven is Fallout. And I love the games Fallout. I love them
Yeah, yeah.
so much, but it's not a horror game to me. So I just don't understand. And I bet you
But
it
see,
is going
that
to,
boosted it for me. That's why I'm
oh,
like, oh, I'm kind of curious now.
yeah. I mean, it's going to be a beautiful house. They're going to do a great
Yeah,
job.
I think so. I think that'll be a
I
very
just,
pretty house.
I don't know what to expect. I'm going to horror nights to be scared, blood and guts and all that wonderful jazz that you don't want. I just need to know. And I'm
I think
excited.
it's going to be I'll talk about it more as it gets to my list too, I guess. But I think it's going to be interesting, apocalyptic horror, and that's kind of where I'm curious to see as
I
well.
think, yes, there will be apocalyptic horror,
Yeah.
particularly if you're in Hollywood, not in Orlando. Moving on, Eric, what's your number six?
Number 6 is Five Nights at Freddy's.
All right.
This one, another one where I never played the game because I'm too scared to, and so I haven't seen the movie. I haven't really. I know the IP enough to know kind of what to expect. I think it'll be fun, but I don't know that I'll enjoy it, if
All
that
right.
makes sense.
Ladies and gentlemen, he will see the movie before we go. That is a
I will be.
guarantee. That
I
is
am
a
required to see the movie before we go, so don't worry,
it is.
folks.
I'm debating on getting the game because it's like $7 and it goes on sale all the time. So if it drops to like $2 to $3, which is generally where it drops on Switch, I might grab it just to
Aren't there
play.
like tons of games, like 3 or 4 now, or something like that,
Yeah,
or
but I just want to
five?
try the
Oh,
first one. And so I
okay.
might end up trying it at some point. Anyway, number 6 for you, Five Nights at Freddy. Number 6 for me is Jason Universe.
Oh, interesting.
Jason Universe. As I just went through 2 through 8, we watched one already on Wrestling with the Horror of It All. I gotta say, Jason is not my favorite franchise at all. It
Hmm.
is very low on the horror franchise rankings, and if it's not, I need to go back and double check and see where I put it and move it down now that I have rewatched those movies. It's just low for me.
I think there's a lot of fun to play with in the Jason universe, right? Because it is so iconic. I'm curious to see how they like. I don't. I think so many times you go to a horror house and it's trying to be Jason, right?
Right.
And so I'm curious to see what happens when they actually have the ability to use Jason.
Yeah. Now I do want to say,
Because I think we'll see multiple Jasons. We'll see Bag Jason, we'll see Fat Mask Jason,
I
and then
think
we
you're
may
right.
even see weird from the lake monster Jason or whatever.
I think you're right. I want to say, even though I don't like the Jason movies, as an iconic look, he is a standout.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love,
Him and
particularly,
Freddy, especially, I think.
yes, Jason for me, particularly movie 8 is the one that I really like a lot. I think
Is that the New
that's
York,
the
Manhattan?
that's the Manhattan one. That's the rotting flesh Jason, and to me that one
Ooh.
looks the best. All right, number 5. Number 5. What you got?
So this one is another one of their originals, which is El Artista, a Spanish haunting. The backstory for this sounds pretty fun.
Hmm.
In the first place, like a secluded cabin to get away or whatever. So, I'm also really interested with this kind of play of haunted universes or haunted scares, kind of outside of the standard American fare that we tend to think of so often. Dolls, tacker, and chains, right? So to place it somewhere in a kind of a global setting, if you will, or international setting with essentially horrors and scares that I'm not as familiar with because we're just not as exposed to it
Hmm.
from a standard American fare. Obviously, I'm sure people who are really into horror probably know of plenty of Spanish and Latina horror opportunities or Latino horror opportunities. So, but I am kind of curious. I'm curious to see what they do. I also like the idea that this is set in a like a Spanish kind of villa or something
Hmm.
like that, if you will, or kind of major room. It makes me think like we could even get. I know it's not the same, but something along the lines of like a House of Usher sort of vibe
Oh,
to it,
I like that.
or that kind of classic 1800s Victorian vibe of scare, but just obviously probably with a little bit more Spanish cultural influence and stuff like that, or a Hispanic cultural influence. Um, my guess is it. I wonder if it's in Spain. I forgot. I didn't see that if it's Spanish is in Spain or Spanish is in the language more so. But either way, I think it'll be really interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, for sure. And I like
I'm
that.
this the top five is where I really start getting curious about how they're actually going to execute the house
Yeah,
more than just am I going to be excited by the scares of it.
I'm almost exact same way in your thinking. I
Mhm.
do know for this one, the different rooms, this is supposed to be the one that ties everything together. So there'll be elements of every haunted house sprinkled throughout this one house. So
Of every other haunted house in the park, you
yes,
mean?
yes.
Oh,
So there'll be
interesting.
something Grave of Flesh in here, something Dolls of That's Play Dead, something Five Nights at Freddy's. There's supposed to be little
Something Why It's
kernels.
Sick, maybe even?
Yeah, there's supposed to be kernels of everything throughout.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
how they do that, I don't know. My number
What's your number
5,
five? Yeah.
Gulkin Monsters of the North. I'm very
Ooh.
excited for this one. Supposedly they're going to have a ginormous monster in there, like an 8 foot tall monster, and I want to know. Like I'm so
Like a giant
curious.
Norwegian troll, probably, or something like
Oh,
that.
that'd be so great. Oh, whatever it's going to be, I can't wait. I'm excited for this one. I don't know what this is going to be. I feel this might be the underrated original house. The people are just going to
I
like.
agree.
It's going to be completely underrated under everyone's radar. At the end of the event, everyone's going to be like, "That was amazing."
I think
So
this and El Artista are the two that are going to stand out more than people realize.
yeah. All right, Eric, what's your number 4?
Number four, I'm going to the Jason universe at that point. This is where
Okay.
I'm curious to see how they kind of execute the universe and how they actually bring in the IP to something that tends to be so cliched already.
Uh,
How good can they? Because I've gone through horror houses, I've gone through haunted woods in the past, which
This is true. He's
obviously
done
are
one with
really
me.
yeah. So I think that that provides the best opportunity now to actually see, okay, like, we've done all these things where they couldn't use Jason officially, but you got all the Jason scares of it nonetheless.
Yep.
And so now I'm curious to see if, I guess, as much as how much, if they can actually make this feel unique, or if it's just going to feel like all of those other houses with a Jason mask.
Okay.
And if it's that, this is going to fall on that list real hard, probably down to
All
like
right.
8 or 10 or 9, even 8,
All right.
9 or 10.
Number 4 for me, El Artista, A Spanish Haunting. For all the same
Mm,
reasons you said, it's just up there. I want to know how they're going to do those tie-ins. I want to know what it's going to look like. The visuals they've shown us are beautiful. Very excited to see what this will actually be. And to
agreed.
me, that's my number 4. Eric, what's your...
I think El Artista and Gall can definitely stand to be the prettiest of the houses
Yes, I
in terms
concur.
of design.
I concur. Eric, what's your number 3?
Number 3 for me hits Fallout.
What?
This is where I'm very curious about this house. This is probably the one that has me most curious about how they're going to execute,
Mhm,
in large part because you're right. I don't think of Fallout as a horror game or a horror IP in general.
mhm.
So I'm really curious to see how they're going to take all of the uh, kind of nuclear era imagery of Fallout and turn it like that 50s nuclear era Fallout sort of idea, how they're going to turn that into horror and how they're going to make us feel both that we're probably in a vault at some
Yeah.
point, but also how are we going to feel about the world around us? How are we going to feel kind of getting through things? And I'm thinking that, like, my initial thoughts is that a large part of this house is going to be about us escaping, more so than running away from a monster or people trying to kill us.
Mhm.
We're going to be trying to escape people who are slowly turning into monsters, right? So are people who we thought were afraid, like, I could easily see this being something where we see a guide at the beginning of the house, like, follow me,
Right.
hurry, and then that guide gets, something happens to them, and now the guide's chasing us in the last half,
Mhm.
sort of thing. So there's a lot of things I think they could do with this, and I'm really curious to see how they execute Fallout as a haunted house.
All right. All right. My number 4 is... Oh, sorry, my number 3 is
Mhm.
Terrifier. Oddly
Ooh.
enough, for you, going from 10 to 1, it's your third pick. From 1 to 10, it's my third pick.
Yeah,
I
because
am...
you're wrong.
So I do not like clowns. I really don't like
Wait,
clowns.
dolls or clowns, which are worse?
Dolls.
Mm.
Dolls by far are worse. I don't like clowns. I cannot watch Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I won't touch that IP at all. I just can't do it. And the only clown that I can get through is Pennywise. And because I associate the original It with Tim Curry and
Yeah,
the new It, it's just off enough that I can accept it and the way he portrayed Pennywise.
it's the crooked eyes really
Yeah.
help, I think, with the new It.
And so that's the only real clown I can do. Art scares me, it terrifies me. Literally, it's what he's supposed to do. But I'm curious. I'm very curious about this house. What is it going to be? They're saying it's going to be the bloodiest house they've ever done. I just want to know. That's why
Really,
it's like,
Terrifier will be.
yes.
Do we need to be worried about like a splash zone sort of effect of anything, or
I don't think so. I think we're going
like
to be
we don't
fine.
have to worry about getting dirty?
I don't
Like
think so.
they don't splash blood on people as they go through, I assume. Like that
We
would,
should be. We
I'm
should be
pretty sure
fine, Eric.
that would be problematic for many reasons.
Eric, what's your number 2?
Number 2, Gulkin, Monsters of the North. So this one, of all the original houses, is the one that I'm most excited for, because I think that, like, so there's a couple things. I think this is going to take place, obviously, the Monsters of the North. I think we're going to see a lot of snow effect, which is going to be really cool. How often do you get to see a haunted house with snow
Yep.
incorporated into it? But also, I think that this stands to have the most, kind of interesting of, obviously it's monsters, so it's not just people trying to kill you, it's things.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of curious to see what they do with that. And I have a kind of hope, to that snow point, that they make it really freaking cold in
I
there.
was about to say the same thing. I
Like
really hope it's...
I want to walk in and be like, oh shit, I'm in the north.
Yeah, I hope they
And
make it
again,
like
we're gonna have to
60
bleep that. I
degrees.
apologize.
It's okay. I'm going to let it roll. I'm going to let it roll. That's
Oh,
how I
well,
run.
we're never gonna get monetized off
We're
this.
not getting monetized right now, so it's okay. My number 2 is Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm
Ooh.
just curious. I want to know, and we know that they're going to use puppets and things for this house. So I just want to know. I'm so
I
excited.
I think of all the IP, Five Nights at Freddy's actually feels like it's built for a haunted house the
I
most.
agree.
I mean,
I
Jason feels like it should be, obviously, but like Five Nights at Freddy's feels like you're going to be in, the Freddy's, restaurant or whatever,
Yeah.
the Chuck E. Cheese, if you will, and you're going to have to like work your way through the kitchen, work your way through the bathrooms, work your way through the dining rooms.
Yep.
I am, as much as I'm not necessarily looking forward to it because I know the IP enough to
Yeah.
not look forward to it. I am interested to see how well they can design that because I think there's a
Agreed.
lot of detail they can put in.
Agreed. Eric, what's your number one?
Oh, this little tiny one that might be the reason we're going in the first place, which is the WWE, the Horrors of the Wyatt Six, SICKS.
Yep.
Where's that on your list, Casey?
It's also my number one.
What?
I know.
Crazy.
This I think has the potential to either be the best house there or the most disappointing house. Quite honestly, because I think we have
Yeah,
built it up that
yeah,
it's
I
going to be
agree.
this
I agree.
amazing thing,
You're right.
and it stands the risk of dropping down significantly.
I think what worries me the most about this in terms of overinflating it and like that is that so much of what I see of the Wyatt Six and very little so far,
Yeah.
to be honest,
They're on
on the
SmackDown, and it's a show
I
you
know.
don't get to see, unfortunately.
If only, I
I
kind of way.
know.
But no, one of the things I think that stands out is how much they feel like that kind of, that friend who like back in the day shopped at Hot Topic too much and could
Yeah.
do the creepy face all the time. And you're like, okay, we get it. I worry that this is going to fall into a cliche bucket of just them being like, I'm scary and
Yeah.
have that sort of a Dolls or a Hacker and Chain sort of vibe, but just branded, right?
Yeah.
And so that's my worry is that we're going to see mostly that in this house, but I hope that what we actually see is like I hope we see the fireflies. I think I texted you this. I hope
Yeah.
we see like pinholes and
Yeah.
fireflies and honestly I want that to be the entrance. I want to walk into this house with just nothing but stars around, basically.
Oh, that'd be great.
And then the playhouse side of that I hope takes up a large part of this, because if that's the case, I think that's what will be the redeeming factor.
Mm-hmm.
I think if it's just creepy lady or creepy guy or gross guy or what, like that's going to get old and stale real fast.
Yeah.
So if they want me to come and see this one again, which we probably will do this one twice just because of the WE aspect.
Yeah, most likely we will, yeah.
But I hope that I want to do it the second time, right?
Same.
As much as the first time because of how cool they made it. But you're right. This one, even though it's at the top, probably for the same reason.
Yeah.
It definitely stands to drop the furthest.
I agree with everything you said. And since we're going multiple nights, we're going 2 nights. We have a chance to hopefully do each house twice. Maybe some houses a third or fourth time, depending on lines and stuff.
I will only do Terrifier once. I do not expect to do that twice.
I think you're gonna like Terrifier more than you think.
Okay,
no,
see.
you're not. But I think you're gonna
all
like
right.
Terrifier.
If you make me do Terrifier twice, I'm gonna make you do Dolls like 3 times.
Deal. I'll make that deal with you. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to re-rank these after we do them all and see where they actually sit.
Stay tuned.
And we have other stuff planned. We are going to do a video on Universal, which should already be out at this point in time. We're going to do one about the Hollywood Reporter article that came out. That will be out around the same time as this. And then we're going to dive into these different houses. So stay tuned for that as well. And while you're at it, go check out Wrestling with the Horrors of It All, which this is a wonderful spinoff of. All right, like, subscribe, do all that wonderful stuff you do. Tell us what is your most anticipated haunted house in the comments below. And we'll make sure to respond back, particularly Eric. He's really good at responding to every comment. All right, until then, remember to keep it not funny.